Welcome, councillors. I'd like to open this month's ordinary council meeting at 3:20. Records of attendance. We have no apologies. Do we have a leave of absence? No leave of absence approved. Declarations of interest. Is any... Sorry, Stephen?
Leave of absence for next meeting.
For next meeting, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a mover?
Yeah.
Do we have a mover, Stephen? Thank you, Councillor Waite. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Verhoot. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 3, declarations of interest. As usual, are there any disclosures of financial interest to any items, councillors? No. Are there any disclosures for the closely associated persons and impartiality? No. And are there any disclosures for proximity? No. Item 4, response to public question time. There are none. There's no public questions. No petitions, deputations, presentations or submissions. Item 7, applications for leave of absence. Next meeting. Councillor Strange, I think that was there. It's noted. Item 8, announcements by the President, myself, or Jem. All I'd like to say is I'd just like to commend the CEO and his staff, finance, for the last month in preparing this budget and for holding the workshops that we've all attended. I'd like to thank my councillors for the time you've invested, given up, and the total investment in the process. I think we've all found it very useful. Hopefully it's moving to a smooth transition, so thank you very much. Item 9, the confirmation of minutes of the Ordinary Council held on Thursday the 19th of June. Do I have a mover?
Through the Chair, just the amendment that I had my leave of absence for that next meeting, which needs to be
Corrected.
amended or corrected.
Thank you, Councillor Waite. Any other corrections? Otherwise, can I have a mover? Councillor Foss, do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Hodgkiss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Works and Services Committee meeting held on Thursday the 19th of June. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Crooks. Seconder. Thanks, Councillor Waite. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. 10, matters for decision. There are none. 10.1, there's no manager of works and services. 10.2, no manager of strategic business development. 10.3, manager of finance. Mr. Darby is an apology, so Mr. Furr.
Mr. President, thank you. As per every month, councillors, the schedule of accounts paid in this instance for June 2025. I'll take the report as read. It is pretty straightforward with the list of payments made as an attachment. To note, the total payments for June were quite significant, as we're at the end of the financial year of almost $2 million. There is, as I mentioned, the attachment there. What I want to inform council is, I'm happy to take questions regarding any payments, but just a forward notice is that next month we will include an additional column which will identify each payment as being a municipal or a funded or a partially funded or a recoverable payment. That way it gives councillors just a little bit more context regarding the payments that are being made. For example, if you look at the one of the items in there, I don't necessarily need to draw, it's a payment to Redfish Technologies, and that was over $200,000 that actually was paid, and that was fully funded. And I think it would be really pertinent if we have a column that gives councillors context that actually says G in the legend that says it's grant, it's a fully a grant. That way, when you're looking through, as expected, you can identify the municipal payments, and if necessary, ask questions regarding that, as well as any other questions you wish to ask. Importantly, there are payments that we make as well that may be recoverable, and therefore that's also important. But other than that, happy to take any questions from council regarding this item.
So just I asked Mark about this this very thing, just more it'll ease, going into the future, it'll be less questions us asking where does this money come from and so on. So it'll be a lot easier seeing what comes from municipal funds. So hopefully we'll trial that and see how it goes. I think it'll work well. If there's no questions or comments, do we have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Verhoot, and thank you, Councillor Strange. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. Item 10.3.2, monthly financial reports. Mr. Furr.
Thank you, Mr. President. Monthly financial report for June 2025. This report is represented in the similar format that councillors have received before. A few headlines associated with this report. The financial position currently standing at $1.585 million, and that's predominantly due to the advance payment, or approximately 50% of the federal assistance grants, and we'll be continuing to work on that final end of year position as part of our process in submitting our annual financial statements in September. And from a capital projects perspective, just to identifying that 28 capital projects in total in last year, 68% or 19 of those were completed. 9 or 32% have been carried forward into 25-26, and 3 of those are actually the LRCIP funded projects, which are will be completed by the end of this month, and is merely a case of paying the invoices. So very, very quickly, as we meet for next council meeting, there will be a carry forward of 6 projects in total as part of the capital projects for 25-26. Other than that, I'm very happy to take any questions from council regarding this matter.
If there's no questions or clarifications, would someone like to move the monthly financial report for June? Thank you, Councillor Verhoot. Seconder. Thanks, Councillor Foss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 10.3. There's been a go wrong. 3. Mr. Furr. The adoption of the 25-26 budget.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to state on record, on behalf of the administration, it is really energising when working with the council and putting together its budget, the level of engagement, commitment and interest, and it's been a very positive process for us, so thank you to council for that. Presented to council is a report that provides an oversight of the budget that is proposed for 2025-2026, and councillors, you have your annual budget book that after attending the workshop, I do hope that that gives you considerable insight and context, and very happy over the next couple of weeks to take more questions either in a formal or outside of the environment, just normal engagement processes, if there's any further clarification after the extensive conversations that we've had. However, just in summary, with regards to some of the efficiency gains that go with this budgeting process, that focus on our establishment and making sure that remuneration of each positions and vacancies and restructure, and making sure that we're across that to make sure that we are not being inefficient in our personnel management and it as a resource in general. Clear focus on the disposal of surplus minor plant and equipment, construction of a number of new assets as detailed in our capital works programs, maximising revenue from our existing shires, provision of our services on a fee-for-service basis, but also as part of the efficiency gain process is encouraging our team to suggest and to put forward ideas regarding efficiencies that may reduce red tape and bureaucracy, and looking at those measures and solutions that improve finance, governance and overall operational functionality. The key features of the budget include an increase in the rate take the rate take of 7%, and I'm very conscious that that is a very high-level general statement, and there's a lot more complexity associated with the rates, and the administration looks forward to answering any questions as they arise regarding that matter. Elected member remuneration has been increased as recommended by the State Administrative Tribunal, and fees and charges overall has increased on average, where applicable, by 6%. The budget also includes a transfer to reserves of $343,000 that includes $153,000 for the Shire's contribution to the construction of another 3 additional SEACA units when they come online. The Shire is primed to process and work on that. There is a total of $18,000 towards small grants, donations and contributions towards community projects, and a capital projects program of approximately $2.9 million that's investing further into our Shire infrastructure, land, buildings, plant, equipment, other assets. And those projects are listed, and you can see there in that table that we identify, there's a legend there that identifies those amounts and whether or not they're fully funded, grant dependent, etc., etc. I think I'll leave it there, and happy to take any questions that councillors may have regarding this item. I'm very conscious it is an extremely long, as it is every year. There is the recommendation is as one motion, and there's 17 parts to that, which captures everything that is required within the adoption of the budget. But if there's any other questions that councillors may have, I'm happy to take them now.
There's no questions or clarifications. We've spent many hours with workshops and so on, so most of you, all of you I should say, be well aware. I will not read the officer's recommendation in entirety, all 17 points word for word, but just some of the key notes, and you have it up on the board and obviously in your own notes. The minimum payments, the GRVs will be 622, the UVs will be 622, and the mining tenements will be 622. We will have our usual option of 4 instalments during the year, there will be a discount for payment in full of 3%. There will be a charge with instalments and late fee charges as per usual. We will be adopting an incentive scheme with a first prize of family pass for the aquatic centre, second prize a $100 voucher to be spent at a local business, and a third prize a $50 voucher at another local business. There will be the meeting fees for president of $528 and councillors $105. Of special meetings, extra meetings, the president of $126 and councillors $55. There will be the telecommunication IT allowance upon election of $1,553 and $518 for every year thereafter until the next election. There will be an annual allowance for the president of $15,001, the deputy president $3,750. There will be allowances for childcare and travel, as has been previous. The domestic waste, as noted, I will not read through all those, but there has been an increase in those. There will be the regulations or to do with no reporting required for any variances to the budget up to 5% of the budget. Any variances between 5 and 10% of the budget, there'll be management discretion, and anything above 10% or greater than $5,000 must be reported. And as noted, last item, we will be applying to the West Australian Treasury Corporation an application for a loan of $385,000, which will go towards the purchase of the multi-patcher.
And through the Chair, can I please add that whilst those recommendations have been summarised and are for public record for anyone to read, they are pursuant to the relevant sections of the Local Government Act in accordance with adopting a budget across those 16 sections and pursuant to the WATC's loan application guidelines.
Thank you for the clarification. So we have a recommendation. If there's no further questions, if someone would like to move that.
Happy to move.
Thank you, Councillor Strange. Would someone like to second it? Thank you, Councillor Hodgkiss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 10.4, regulatory services. 10.4.1, a proposed ramp of the post office. Mr. Fair.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a very straightforward development application, and I will explain the purpose of this. That we have had a development application come through by the owner of the local post office to install a ramp out on his property that will aid and assist those that are less mobile access into the post office. I'm keen to stress that this is on freehold land, but the reason it's with council is because it's a heritage building, and as a default there normally would have to be an application submitted so that the Shire can satisfy itself that there is nothing untoward, shall we say, or inappropriate being planned that would have a detrimental impact on a heritage listed building. So this is why, because there is no delegation at the moment to the CEO to sign this off, it sits with council quite appropriately. There are attachments that explain, and this that explain the request. It is a ramp into the front entrance. The request and the advice given is that we would like the colour of that ramp to be consistent with the images, consistent with the current coloration of the entranceway, which was already the proposal from the individual owner. And in pulling this together, this report together by our town planning consultant, a very straightforward application. It is on freehold, and therefore it does not contravene any of the heritage issues that potentially could arise, and therefore the officer's recommendation there recommends approval.
If there's no questions or comments,
Chair, just one question, and it's probably the difference here then. The post office is on our heritage list, not on the state's heritage list. So it'd be quite a different process to undertake if it was on the state's. So this is why we can make those decisions here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I think the general public may think it's on the state heritage list. It's not.
thanks, Councillor Strange. Any further questions? Otherwise, there is a recommendation. And there are a few points, so I'll just read out the points. It's obviously pursuant to the regulations required. So item 1 was that the development hereby approved must be carried out in accordance with the submitted plans and specifications or otherwise amended by the local government, and these shall not be altered or modified without the prior knowledge and written consent of the local government. Point 2 is the approval shall expire if the development hereby approved has not been substantially commenced within a period of 2 years from the date hereof, or within an extension of that time requested in writing prior to the approval expiring. This may be granted by the local government. Where the development approval has lapsed, no further development is to be carried out. Point 3, the new surface is red in colour to the satisfaction of the local government. And point 4, all works are contained on lot 31, number 32 Johnson Street, and do not extend into the Johnson Street Reserve. And as noted, the property is listed on the Shire of Bruce Rock's Heritage List, not the state. And if the applicant is aggrieved by this determination, there is a right to review by the State Administrative Tribunal in accordance with the Planning and Development Act. So that is a recommendation. If someone's happy to move that, otherwise an alternate motion, I'm happy to hear. Would someone like to move the recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Waite. and seconded Councillor Foss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Go through the items. Item 10.5, the Manager of Governance and Community Services. Unfortunately, Mr. Gate's an apology. So 10.5.1, Mr. Furr, I assume you shall be.
Thank you, Mr. President. Freedom of Information Statement 2526 is an annual compliance requirement. Legislation requires local governments to undertake an annual review of their Freedom of Information Statements, and therefore the administration is asking Council to adopt the Shire of Bruce Rock's Freedom of Information Statement for the year 2025-2026. That statement is attached, and I am happy to take any questions that councillors may have on this particular item.
No questions or comments? Otherwise, there is a recommendation that we adopt to the Shire of Bruce Rock's Freedom of Information Statement 2526 as presented. And point 2 is agree to the Chief Executive Officer submitting a copy of the Freedom of Information Statement to the Information Commissioner following its publication on the Shire of Bruce Rock's website. Would someone like to move that recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Foss. Seconder, thank you, Councillor Crooks. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. And we're going to item 10.5.2, the Shire Seal. Mr. Furr.
Thank you, Mr. President. There is a requirement whenever the Shire Seal is used that it is an item is presented to Council. The seal was used in June 2025, a very straightforward agenda item. The Shire Seal was used during the month of June in conjunction with the signing and completion of the waste management contract with Avon Waste. Happy to take any questions from councillors on this item as required.
There's no questions or comments. We have a recommendation that we endorse the use of the seal during June 2025. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Hodgkiss. And seconded. Thank you, Councillor The Hoot. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. 10.6, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Furr. Nothing. Item 11, there's no new business of an urgent nature. No. Item 12, there's no confidential items. So item 13, I'd like to close the meeting. Thank you all for your attendance. 3:41.